Guys, stop for a minute. Take a look at your wallet. Now, your wallet says a lot about you. I just want to ask, is it time for an upgrade? Our friends at Ridge are here to help you step up your wallet game. Their incredible wallet is light, sleek, and industrial. It doesn't fold or awkwardly bulge out of your back pocket. It slips into your front pocket. Ridge wallets hold up to 12 cards, plus all the cash that you need. You can choose from over 30 colors and styles. That includes carbon fiber and burnt titanium. It's the best wallet you can buy. You don't just have to take my word for it, because there's over 40,000 five-star reviews. I was skeptical at first, but once I tried it, I never went back to my old wallet, and I'm confident that you're going to love it too. But guess what? No pressure. Test it out for 45 days. If you don't love it, send it back. You get a full refund. If you decide to keep it, and I really think you will, it comes with a lifetime warranty. Go to ridge.com/Chael or just click on the link below. That's going to get you 10% off plus free worldwide shipping and returns. Guys, it is so hard with Chimaev. It is so hard to get accurate information. You want to know the irony of that? He's the most accessible guy. You could reach Chimaev right now. When people talk to him, I feel as though people are scared. Am I right about that? That's my perception, but am I right about that? Like, here, let me give you a great example. Chimaev did an interview yesterday, which served to do nothing more than confuse the holy hell out of us, of which I'll get to in just a moment. But when they had access to Chimaev, for the umpteenth time, the person with said access has not asked him the number one thing that we need to ask him, which is not his next opponent, and it's not his weight class, and it's not how far he is away from Israel Adesanya. There's a rumor that Chimaev can't travel, that he has to, for passport reasons, fight at Fight Island. And nobody wants rumors said about it, but this one won't go away. And you want to know something else? Nobody stepped up to stop it. Chimaev's got coaches. They haven't stepped in to stop it. And then we'll see Chimaev in other places. Okay, so here's the story that's believed. Chimaev can't travel. Well, he can go to Fight Island. How does that work? I must tell you, I'm not a travel advisor, and I did speak to Pete Buttigieg this morning, but how does that work? How can you live here and you can travel to Fight Island, but you can't come anywhere? Oh, maybe that's the thing. We're led to believe it is, but he trains in Sweden. Okay. So wherever he's at, he can get to Fight Island. Oh, and by the way, he can get to Sweden to train. Fair enough, but I saw him training in Thailand. So Chimaev can live here, he can get to Fight Island, he can do his training in Sweden. By the way, he can also work out in Thailand, but then his passport is stuck and he can't travel amongst the world, and we continue to believe it. It doesn't seem right to me. I mean, it doesn't seem, admittedly, not being a travel advisor, it doesn't seem to make sense. I don't think it works that way. Now, this is coming from an American who could go to Havana as long as I stopped in Mexico City first. Until 4 years ago, I could not go from America directly to Havana. So I know that there's strange things that do happen. But it would seem as though if you've got the audience with Chimaev, who's wildly open with us, you'd ask him the question. You'd ask him the question, is it true that you're having a time getting around for international travel? But nobody's ever asked him that. Now, let's go back to what he's going to do next. He plans to be fighting in October on Fight Island. That's the very card that Islam is allegedly taking on Charles Oliveira. I must word it that way. Because Charles Oliveira, through his own verified Twitter account, says that he's fighting Conor McGregor. I tell you right now, if I'm the boss and a guy who I'm about to put for the strap says that he wants to go and do something, he just lost that opportunity. I'll tell you right now. Chimaev's going to fight on that card. And it was initially believed it was going to be against Paulo Costa, which was true. That was initially believed by both of them. Paulo and Chimaev thought they were going to fight. Paulo ends up getting assigned something else. Chimaev ends up with a very powerful rumor that he's going to be opposite Kamaru Usman, and we, the audience, love it. Wow. That was the match that we didn't see coming. So Chimaev spoke about this. He said, hey, it was Kamaru Usman. It's still Kamaru Usman. There is nobody else. That's a quote. I'm giving you a quote right now. I don't believe if you hear those words that you're going to be interpreted in it the way that he meant, and that's my own belief. When Chimaev says there is no one else, there was never anyone else. I don't believe if you take that literal that you're going to be hearing it correctly. I think that there is discussion of others. The Paulo Costa would prove that there's discussion of others. I think Jared Cannonier inserting himself as recently as 2 weekends ago. I think there are others. And within this same conversation, Chimaev said the issue was catch weight. And he spoke in kilograms, which confuses people. But if you get a calculator out and you convert them by 2.2, it sounded as though Kamaru Usman was looking to compete about 181 pounds. And I'm having lunch today. It's a video lunch with Ali Abdelaziz. I will get the answer to that question. I just don't have it now. I share that with you. That's a tease. Stay tuned tomorrow. I'll have that answer. But it's 181 pounds that's the problem, and it creates a lot of questions. Does Kamaru Usman want to leave 170? Does Kamaru Usman want to go to 185, but he wants to do it responsibly? Instead of taking a 15-pound jump, he's going to use responsibility, and he's going to go part way first. Is that what this is? Is it like dip your toe in the water? Maybe. I have my own belief that Kamaru Usman does not want to confuse anybody. He doesn't want to confuse you, the fans. He doesn't want to confuse the locker rooms. He doesn't want to confuse the rankings committee. That he is now a player at 185, which would put him in line to fight Izzy, who is a countryman who they're going to stay apart. Chael's belief. I haven't actually been told these things, but I believe them for very good reason. I think you guys understand. So, Chimaev has not confirmed for somebody else. He didn't mention Jared Cannonier. He doesn't say that he's keeping his eye on a fight, right? And sometimes I wish that guys would call out losers. I don't like that word. That's a mean word. Losers is a derogatory word. I don't like it. But it's the opposite of winner, and each match has one. And sometimes I do wish that people would call them out. I think that's interesting. If I think number one contender matches are interesting, if that's the reason I'm tuning in, not for what's going to happen here, but for what happens here's representation of what's going to happen next. If I'm tuning in for that and that's an appeal for me, why would I want to know what's going to happen with the loser? Just by example, we're being told that Duplessis and Whitaker is the one. That's the one that our title challenger is going to come from for Adesanya. Okay, great. What happens to the loser? Well, how about he goes to Fight Island and he takes on Chimaev? Just by example. I'm attempting to prove a point here. So I think that we end up in these really tough spots, and I don't know that we know anything new from Chimaev. And I think a lot of times that a reporter will go, okay, great, I got it. I got the big one. But I think that that's because of a misrepresentation. Do you take things literal? Do you take things with a grain of salt? Well, when you're dealing with a guy who's working on being bilingual, I think you always take it with a grain of salt. And I don't believe there's going to be a fight at 181 pounds with anybody. And I do believe that Chimaev is going to be fighting on the October Abu Dhabi card. And I do believe it will not be a headlining bill because Islam's going to be in that spot. And I do believe that the opponent is paramount, is out there, is limited, and is not yet picked. I do believe all of those things. Now the question becomes, does Chimaev have to fight there or not? Not is he going to fight there? Not is he? Does he have to due to a travel restriction? And for some reason, nobody has asked him.